This is one of the best quality of life updates that ever happened in Arknights. It's everything that I asked for, from the base changes to the shop, and especially the support unit. The overhaul of the support unit changes the way that people would play this game. Let's talk about all these wonderful updates in this video. We'll go down the list of changes. I'll start off with my favorite, most impactful changes that came with this update. And the most obvious one to point out is the Sanity. You can see that it no longer says 135, but it's at 180 instead. This is a brilliant change for those of you who don't log in on the 12th or 13th hour mark, maybe because you're busy or you sleep a little bit more within your day. This is going to be a very good safeguard because that means you won't always see the 135 cap. Do take note that when you are refilling your sanity, your potions of course still stay the same, but for Original Prime, it's still at 135. It's not 180 even in the Chinese server, but this is already a nice little feature where it's meant to help those of you who don't log in as regularly. Then, the next brilliant change will be the support unit. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much has changed, but if we notice the operators, some of your friends would have this M3 symbol on the top right of their units. What is this supposed to be? Let's click it to find out. So now, your friends don't have to select a skill anymore, and even for yourself. Instead, all you have to do is to put your support unit into your account, and then for anybody who's borrowing these units, they can choose any skill they want. So you don't have a fixed skill anymore. You can go and click on skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, and even for the module itself, you can select which module you want. So if a unit were to have another second module, you can also select on that. This is a fantastic change. I've been waiting for this for so long. This has a lot of impact. Number one, you can select any of the skills. So if there's a better skill that you think can work within a stage, you don't have to ask your friend to change to that skill. You can just set it for yourself. Then, for those of you who are mid-game and new players, this is going to be wonderful because you don't have to just be reliant on videos or people telling you how a unit works. If you want to test out a unit and you can borrow from a friend or even from a regular person that you do not actually know, skill rank 7 is still going to be wonderful. And by borrowing these skills, you can actually test out the unit and see how much you enjoy their skill 1, 2, and 3, and this can determine whether you want to build or pull for this character. More experimentation can mean better decision making on your part, and hopefully this is something that you all can enjoy. Go and try out all the units that you do not own so that you can learn so much more in Arknights. Also, talking about the M3 symbol, you can see that this particular user has all M3 on his characters. So what is this about? This is going to be a way for you to flex your support units if you want to towards your friends. So in order to get this M3 symbol, you not only need to entry a single skill, you must have every single skill of that unit at M3. So in this case, Hodra is at M9 basically, and this also works for a 5-star. So for example, if we look at say Elysium over here, you have M6 and he has the M3 symbol right there. You don't need the module to get this particular symbol, it's just to show off that you have actually built all the skills of this particular character. Within my own support units, I've set Narantia over there and you can see that I have the little symbol on the top right to indicate that I've actually entry every single one of her skills. She's one of my favorite characters and hence why I do so I get to show it off to my friends right about now. Okay, let's move on to the next change which we can find within the store itself. This is a very minor change but you will still see anyways. So you can click on view all packs, which is the normal screen that you see all the time. But now they've actually split all the packs up into various topics. So for instance, this Never Glided one, this is for the Siege Outer event. And you can see that this is thematically only for the event itself. Then you have Operator Training, which they do this from time to time from event to event, where these are just basically raw materials, barely any pools, and you can just buy them in order to build your units. And then you have Selected Packs, which is basically some recommendations that they try to put for you, and they have one more at the end for the monthly card. If you want to go to the regular UI, you can just go back into the view all packs. But if you like the split up stuff, then you can click on these. I do hope that with this UI change, it means that the outfit store can also get a UI change. I understand they want to show the skins off as much as possible, but I think the UI can be just as clean as the packs, where you have a selection tab on the left, so you can put that as a skin series that you can filter through all of the skins, rather than having 100 over skins every single time they do the fashion review stuff, and have the catalog in a nicer button on the left as well, instead of only having it all the way to the end on the right. Anyways, let's move on to the next change. There is something that is a bit more subtle. You might not realize they added this. So let's go into Helliger, and then afterwards I will click on this module. So you can see that I'm missing one bipolar nanoflake, and I have to build this. Previously, if you click on Go, it will bring you to the workshop. But the difference between then and now is, number one, this material that you need is already selected beforehand. So previously there is basically an empty screen. Now you see it straight up here and it'll tell you how many that you need. So in this case I need 1. if you need more, it will also change the number as 4 or 5. So this is a very, very good change in order to tell you what exactly you're building for. Then you can now also see that instead of saying remaining how many devices or white horse coal, this time I have the total number that I have and how many I'm actually using each time I bring up the number. Let's go for a different formula over here, and we're gonna go into the rocks. So my Ori rock concentration, you can see that I can't construct any of the concentrations because I have a lack of clusters. But now there's a brand new button that appears, which is this craftable. So if let's say I need more Ori rock clusters in order to make my concentration, it can actually go into the formula that I require, and then you can produce straight away from here. So in this case, I'm gonna place in, say, my mud rock, and then afterwards I will produce, and then once I'm done doing this, I can immediately go back into the concentration formula. So the craftable is gone, which I do think it would be nice if they could stay, but it's also okay since it only appears when you really need it. And then afterwards I can go on to construct the concentration that I need. So another beautiful change for the workshop. Alright, last thing, the base, which is basically what I creamed over at the start of the video. You can really see that there's some UI changes as soon as you first log in, where there is a new rotate button and rest ops button. What is this about? We will find out in a bit. Everything else is the same. So there is also this new overview button, and the UI is a little bit different. So you can change your operators as you used to, where you click in on facility and you can change it to someone else that you want. But now you can also see there is a button to the right. So this is the preset button. For every of your facility, you can now set a preset. Like for example, within my control center, I have formation 1 and formation 2. So if I were to click on the rotate button, this will basically set this preset upwards and everybody else will be staying fatigued. There is also this rotate button on the bottom. So this rotate button only works not to rotate everything, but only when your facility has fatigue units. So with fatigue units, it means that they'll be rotated out and change to the fresh preset that you have. So if they are still in a working status, and even if they have very little morale left, they won't be enabling the rotate button, which has both good and bad implications. But this is still nice for you to have. So you can set presets for every single room. I have some kind of preset which is called the staggered preset. I will teach you guys all of these stuff next time in the future, because I do understand that some of you don't know what these things are, but I'm just going to change it to a preset over here. And let's say my facility for this one is done, I can switch it as well, and I can do various switcheroos. So this is a wonderful change where you don't have to go searching for your operators anymore, and instead you can just click on the single button or the button below, depending on your use case. If you're a bit of the lazier person where you have everyone fatigued and you need to switch them, click on the button below. But if you care more about the maximum productivity, of course the single button is going to work so much better for you. You can also see the room details a lot better now on the screen. So you have the productivity symbol on the left over here and the morale consumed. The productivity is the thing that you'll care about the most whenever you're dealing with the base. So I can teach you guys how this will work as to how to care about these numbers next time around. Let's go to the rest zone. So the rest zone over here can automatically put operators to rest now. So if you have, let's say, operators with fatigue or those that have little morale and they're not working at the moment, you can simply just click on rest ops and everybody will get sent in. You do notice that there are empty slots at the moment, so your dorms won't be automatically filled, and some combos might depend on it. So it means that for now, you would still have to manually set in units in order to fill the space, depending on the combos that you are using. But for those of you that don't really care about such combos, this is already a very convenient feature for you to be using. In the future, there will be a way for you to lock operators within the dormitory. This is good for things like the fear meta skill, or if you have dorm recovery skills that you want to actually set for your units because you want to maximize productivity, that will come in an update that is about 3 months from now. There is also going to be the feature of navigating around the dormitory next time, which is a very cool thing for you to do, but we shall talk about that when they all drop. In any case, these preset stuff are wonderful, and let me know if you would like me to teach you how to best use it, whether you're a lazy player or you're someone who is very active in the game. And there you go, those are all the big changes that happened in this update, some of my favorite QOLs, and there will be still more to come in about 3 months time. So anyways, I hope that you've learned quite a bit from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, take care y'all.